welcome. Thank you, main event, for sticking around. I appreciate it. Now back to my main event. You guys can see I'm wearing my NASA hat today, and that says only one thing. So now you can see I am wearing a NASA hat, and today that means that we're talking about governmental agencies that often lie to... I'm kidding. NASA doesn't lie to people. But you know what? There's been a cover-up, all right? There's been a pretty big cover-up over the years. And if you've been around in any circles whatsoever in terms of the YouTubosphere, then you know about the cover-ups. All right, you know that they've had yet to engage in any kind of good faith disclosures. But here we are. We're on Face the Nation. We're on Fox News. We're on all the mainstream media outlets, and we're talking about UFOs. Or sorry, we're talking about UAP, all right? Unidentified aristocratic PDF files? No, sorry, that's a different stream. We're talking about flying saucers. That's right, aliens. And no, not the aliens that ICE is actively hunting down and killing our citizens just to deport. So no, we're talking about actual outer space aliens, although I watched a recent podcast that said that maybe they're not from outer space at all. So, I mean, I haven't had a chance really to even look at the news in terms of UAP. I've been just kind of doing my own thing. I've been paying attention to my own shitty life. I'm kidding, it's not shitty. I've been paying attention to my own mundane life. That's a better way to say it. Mundane. Mundanity aside, I usually keep track of this kind of stuff. I usually keep track of like when you know, government disclosures happening regarding big conspiracy theories, but I think this one kind of like flew under my radar. So, but here we are. I'm going to watch the initial news stories. I'm going to react in real time. We're going to experience all of this as if it is for the first time, because for me it will be. All right? So first I'm going to take a look at Fox News. Dave Grush, so he's the guy that's been kind of like sort of championing this thing. Jeremy Corbell, to a certain extent, has been sort of the mouthpiece of the UFO documentary community. And then Dave Grush has been kind of the guy in the Pentagon, or from the Pentagon, like DOD or whatever kind of shit his credentials are, has been the one who is kind of like trying to get this stuff released and trying to get disclosure out there. Oh, millions will eventually see your content. God damn, I hope so. That'd be cool. The world is waking up to this, or this is needed content. Well, I don't know about that, but I certainly enjoy doing it. I'm about to check out the horizontal. I think I found the hype button. Is there one? Is there actually one? I would be surprised, but I guess pleasantly so. Didn't think that was a thing. Oh, it might be on just like videos and not live streams. Hello, I didn't see you there. I'm just kidding, I totally did. My name is Goose. Do you like good videos? Well, too bad. Do you like quality content? I'm fresh out. Do you like really well-informed takes? Tough titties. Do you like when people have their shit together? Gosh darn it, I hope you enjoy all the same. Please enjoy. Please, and if you like it, feel free to subscribe. If not, thank you. What we're going to do once we see these news stories is we're going to say, okay, what are people on the ground saying about it? And then we're going to switch over to TikTok and we're going to see some like individual takes. I've already looked at a lot of these, the individual takes, and it's pretty crazy. And I mean crazy like cuckoo nuts crazy, not crazy like, wow, that's wild. No, I mean like, these people are crazy. But they're saying everything from it's a chaos star to it is the same ship that sent Superman to Earth in the old Superman movies, on up to it's just a drone, it's here, it's maybe there's some like anomaly from time traveling. I have seen a lot of different takes on this, and the most sensical one that I saw was like, oh yeah, honestly, like there was like an avionics expert here, this really is just the like the prismatic coronal thing that comes off of like when a UV shines into the lens of something else. And then to me that makes a lot of sense, but I you know, I'm not an avionics type guy. I don't know the ins and outs scientifically of these things. I'm just here to learn. I'm here to learn from Fox News. Okay, I'm just here to learn something that Fox News is going to teach me. Okay, guys? All right? Let's learn something from Fox News.
Further documents will reveal a lot of the other information that I got access to in terms of foreign intelligence on adversarial UAP programs.
So that's been his whole thing for this entire multi-decades campaign that he's launched against things like the Pentagon and the government. Ken Ham, I believe, is another sort of big name in this whole disclosure movement. He's, I believe, either a congressman or a senator. He's in the government. And he leads committees where the first, I think, disclosure committee hearing thing was, I believe, Ken Ham that led that. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but there's like two governors that are very for disclosure. You can't just come into a random live stream and expect that people don't speak Spanish. 1/4 of me is fluent in it. The other 3 would have colonized that 1/4 of me, which is probably how it became 1/4 of me, if I'm completely honest. Vive la raza! It would be easier for us to sort of hand wave away a lot of the dismissals and accusations of people being insane and wearing tinfoil hats if there was any evidence that crafts have been like non-human piloted, or they came from like another, I don't know, dimension or another planet or something like that. Even and the reason I'm saying that right now is because he's talking about adversarial aircrafts. If another country, one of our enemies, was working on a highly advanced futuristic or alien technology or something like that, we would have our spies. We don't. See, that's the thing. Like, people don't trust each other. People are always like assuming that the people they're dealing with are duplicitous. I hope that that's, you know, maybe that I'm overgeneralizing, but it seems to be a pretty big pattern with just people in general, especially people in power, that they don't trust other people, like, implicitly. And maybe that's how they get to the level of power that they're at. And maybe that's how they get to the positions in government that they're in, by not trusting other people. That's not for me to decide. That's, you know, other people. Or that's people in positions better than the one that I'm in. But like, our spies are everywhere. Our spies are in every government. They're installed in every foreign adversary and even our allies. Like, there are, like, spies are everywhere, man. Like, especially since the Cold War, like, they're better at hiding themselves now. So if there was somebody, Goose ghosted me after a passionate night of probing. I'm not an alien, but like, if there was evidence of some highly technologically advanced thing, like something like an aircraft or a being or some either non-human whatever going on, there would have been some kind of a leak. There would have been, like, the spies would have come back and told us something about it. There would have been something, some kind of a leak, some kind of a new, like, breaking news. Like, they would have told a reporter, they would have told a government official, they would have told a loved one. That's why I think it's so hard for NASA to keep a bunch of secrets about, like, moon landing and about actual, you know, the Artemis whatever, like, rocket with, you know, the people that are disbelieving that we actually went to the moon in the first place, let alone again. There's just so much compartmentalization that has to happen, and I know that that's the excuse a lot of people use as well. Oh, they compartmentalize it. The people that are doing it, they think that it's real. No, I don't think that's true.
To include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the president's presidentially appointed team and getting access and getting control on some of these historical records. So I really expect the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence.
I'm going to say no. I think Trump, as well as Ken Ham and that other guy in Congress who have been pushing for disclosure, have been pushing for disclosure. They've been pretty adamant about it. Trump himself, as well as, you know, again, everyone else who has been like a big proponent of all the disclosure that people are pushing for. They've all been pushing for it this entire time. They all want it to happen. If Trump is not going to listen to Congress when he goes and bombs Iran, if he's not going to listen to Congress when he goes and bombs Venezuela and kidnaps their leader and then leaves a vacuum of power in both places, if he's not going to listen to Congress on those things, he's not going to listen to them when it comes to UFO disclosure. He's just gonna leak the stuff if he has it. Like that. I don't. There's no practical reason why he would hold on to this stuff simply because what? He observes the rule of law? Trump had classified documents at his home, in his bathroom, and he's like respectful of the rule of law. He didn't show up to his arraignment. Like, I don't know if it's a judgment hearing. He didn't show up to his judgment hearing for the aggressive sexual assault of a woman, which he was found liable. He's gonna seek a third term, and I think they're setting Rubio up to take it. But you get what I'm saying here. Like, it's not like Trump really observes or respects the rule of law. So why would he keep classified UFO documents secret when he hasn't been known to really do that ever with anything? If if he knew, and especially if he knew that it was going to distract from the Epstein files, if he knew that UFO disclosure was going to make people like him, he would put every single material out there that he could. And Lord knows, I bet you he has an inkling. I bet you he might think to himself, you know what? If I please all these people who have been asking me for UFO disclosure, they might like me. I mean, most of them are fence sitters anyway, when it comes to Trump. You know, going in and out of interest for him, like, just like the seasons change. 2016, yeah. Man, it's really shitty. Or what Trump is doing, you know? He's really, like, he's doing all these, like, floating all these bans, he's floating all this, you know, reduction in oversight and all this kind of stuff. Man, it's really shitty what he's doing. Man, it's great that he did a ban on Muslims. Oh man, I love that. I freaking hate brown people. You know, people just keep piling support onto him when he doesn't deserve it. I think the alien believers are easier to think are crazy, but a lot of them really just want some kind of proof that we're not alone in the universe. And a lot of religious people are crazy, but I think most of them really just want to live their lives in peace and you know, don't necessarily hate gay or trans or black people. That'll do it, bound down. That'll be that booty. That'll booty, bound down. Ew! What is that? What was that? Hang on. What is that? Is this a thing? What the fuck are we looking at? All this is just specks on a black background. What am I supposed to be looking at?
Eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings, detailing
This is a dot transversing another dot.
incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm
Don't emphasize things like that. You did it the wrong way.
posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO.
Is this a drone? What is?
Include eyewitness.
But this could very easily just be like headlights on a road somewhere. If we're in a drone, why would it have a picture of a drone? I'm very confused. I still remember hatching next to the swamp, then you flew away the next day. Yeah, Skippy, that is you. What are you doing, man?
Photos and reports of unidentified.
Okay, so that's a drone, but the thing that flew by it. Now, fuck, man, can't drones fly really, really fast? So if a drone can fly really, really fast, then whatever's flying by the drone will look like it's going even faster.
Include eyewitness.
So it could just be trailing. It could just be like a light trail.
The documents to be made.
I was honestly just supposed to be reacting to this stuff and not like trying to debunk it or anything. But holy fuck, I cannot believe that people are like freaking out over this stuff.
Public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site.
That's like nothing. It could just be a light pole. It could just be anything. It could be a drone with a flashlight on it. Like, it could be anything.
It include eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings.
And what are we looking at? What is it supposed to be?
Detailing incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm Eleanor Watson, CBS.
You gotta learn how to emphasize words differently. It's not from around the world, it's from around the world.
CBS News' Pentagon reporter. The first batch of files included 28 videos. After reviewing all of them, these are the ones that stood out to me.
28 videos? This said, look at the six videos that the Pentagon made. 6 videos worth watching. Apparently there are 8 though. I'm into it. Oh, everyone's lagging. Yeah, unsurprising. You know, it's probably just because we're talking about aliens. You know, it's probably just because there's so many aliens that are coming to the world right now that they're overloading, like all their wireless transmissions are all overloading ours, you know? They're like, yeah, they're disclosing our information today. We've got to set the fucking mothership down and we got to go and have some beers with these people so they like us. We don't want them like, taking us to the lab and cutting us open and doing any more alien autopsies and airing it on Fox News or Fox TV or anything like that. You know, is this what I'm looking at? So, okay, I'm seeing what looks like a static ground. So, okay, I'm thinking that we're looking at this from the point of view of an airplane. That's my guess. And as it's going, like it's probably, you know, this could be like over a mile away. This could be like 2 miles away or something like that. Because I think this is the object we're supposed to be looking at. If you can see my mouse, it's sort of like right next to the N on the screen. Anyway, it looks to be quite a distance away. And so the plane may have to bank or, come up and then like go back down onto a different flight path in order to keep it in its vision. But like you can see kind of like turning. See, like the ground has gone from here to that way. Skippy, don't pretend. But okay, so in general, I think the thing that a lot of people look at when they're trying to find ways to debunk a UFO video are the sort of perspective. That's like one of the many things that people consider. And when it comes to something that is like on a really big distance, so like if you're in a plane and you're looking at the ground, anything in between can either look like it's moving way too fast, or it can look like it's moving very slowly, or it can look anomalous to what you think when you're on the ground looking at things on an equal plane. I am not a specialist. I don't know exactly how to describe that, but also elevation plays a big role in that as well. There was a video that I saw not too long ago that showed, it was on Corridor Crew. They were debunking UFO videos, and one of the things that they showed was like a series of lights that were sort of on this plane, and it was, I think it was backing water, and like you couldn't tell where it was, and they were like, all right, so guess where this shot is. Like, is it of boats? Is it on the ocean? Or like, is it in the sky or something like that? And they all got it wrong. And then they looked at this, they zoomed out, and it was like a little inlet. It was an inlet in Japan where all these ships were going, and it looked like a series of UFOs. It looked like there was like a bunch of UFO activity happening, but it was just boats on the water. And the only thing that changed was the amount of context you were getting visually. So with this kind of shit, I don't know what we're supposed to think about this. The reason why they're only trickling shit like this out is because this is all they have. They don't have anything else. So glad we got fake UFO files and not the Epstein files. Oh, we'll get them eventually. It'll just be after any of the people who could be prosecuted are dead, probably. Unfortunately. I would love to see Trump rot in prison for his role in aggressively graping a 13-year-old and then requiring her to get an abortion. So if I am to assume, again, which would be an incorrect assumption, if I am to assume that the plane itself is somehow stationary, it's just hovering in air, where you can see a static ground that isn't moving by any relation of either the Earth's rotation or the movement of the plane or anything like that, these points in time here are fixed. They are not moving at all, which would be the only way that I would believe that this is moving in a fashion that is unnatural or outside the realms of possibility. You can adjust the camera, like the camera movement can even make this move that way. And I think I see, yes, okay, we have land references. Okay, now that makes this interesting. But also, I think I know what this is. Hang on, let me see. And so I don't know if you can see, but it goes left and then it goes down. I'm putting my finger on the screen like you can fucking see it. So it goes left this way, and then the camera goes down a little bit, and now we're headed right, and now the camera's panning right. And now the camera has to pan right very quickly because this thing has sped up. If what I remember of it going by these is correct, then it will have sped up quite a bit. So what I'm looking for right now is occlusion. Aliens? Yes. You gotta hit me with a with a full sentence there, man. But so two things can be happening when we're looking at it transverse these windmills. A, it could be because the thing that we're looking at depends on aliens got caught red-handed in 4K. Not as far as I know. So sometimes we can't see laser designators for things. Like it has to have like a colored laser. It has to have like be in some atmospheric disturbance or something like that in order for it to become visible. And what I was seeing, if you notice, there are little other specks of sort of like white light, kind of white sort of looking light here that stay kind of around, like they stay sort of static, which to me tells me some kind of screen, whatever it is, it's on the screen. Whatever it is it's on the glass or the whatever the panel is that's in front of this, or it's just compression. So here, right there, that tells me that this is probably a reflection, because these lights here, I'm calling them lights. These specks of white on the screen, they seem to get brighter as the other light gets near it. See, look, brighter. more pronounced, bright, but it's static. It's not moving. So when you're looking at something that's either infrared or ultraviolet, things in the background are usually, it's the amount of light that is observed or visible for the LiDAR or the whatever the instrument is that's trying to look at these things. It depends on the level of light that's available to be able to see things. And whether you're on regular spectrum of light or any other spectrum of light, you still have to depend on the amount of light that's reaching whatever it is, either your retina or your eye, or whatever camera that's looking at whatever it is you're trying to decipher. So that means that objects in the background can influence how you see things up closer. Donnie, they're asking about files again. Quick whip together some UFO releases. So something in the background that is behind something in the foreground can still affect how it looks. It just happens to be that it looks like it's going behind these things, though you would see it disappear completely in most cases. However, also diffusion can have a role in this too. Like, diffusion can possibly make you see things behind other things, but that's when an object's really close, when you have to use your peripheral vision to fill in the blanks. Like, I can, if you do this with your finger, everyone try it. Everyone do it right now. Do it right now. If you go like this, you can essentially see through your finger. But like, that's what diffusion, I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what I understand diffusion to be. But that's usually when objects are like way closer to you, and I feel like this would fully disappear if it was going behind these things. So I think what is happening is that it's in front of them, it's just dimming as it gets in front of these things a little bit. But my guess is that this is simply a laser or like some kind of a beam that is being shown onto the ground, possibly to indicate potential targets or to indicate areas of strike for whatever military aircraft is what is filming, or just another in their complement, But I don't think this is a flying saucer, nor is it an angel, because it wouldn't. Oh man. The world is massive. The sky is massive. Unless this was an angel or just a being of light that was trying to specifically present itself to this camera, there would be no reason for it to be doing these things, doing these maneuvers, showing itself to the plane, being present here, moving as fast as it does. It moves about as fast as, like, let's say if you're increasing your speed in an aircraft and you have a laser pointed somewhere, it would increase the speed of the laser, like the little dot on the ground, with the thing that's going forward. So that's why I think that we're seeing the laser on the windmills, because it's being projected from either behind the camera or the aircraft that the camera is on itself. This is not, I think it's only unidentified insofar as the government just doesn't know for sure which laser it came from or which type of laser it is or what aircraft it was on. But I think they can be pretty confident. They know a hell of a lot more than I do on these subjects. And so I feel like they would know pretty well off the bat that this is just a laser of some sort. Because it doesn't exhibit any of the behavior that a thing in flight does. It exhibits the behavior that a reflection does. Either reflection or projection. See, it didn't go behind. It just diminished a little bit because there wasn't light behind it, or there wasn't a white or a background contrasting it enough behind it, because maybe the windmills are white and the beam itself like is invisible or something like that, and like, or it's complementary color, or it's, I don't know, something having to do with some kind of like thing on the light spectrum. I don't know. Whatever the deal, it is seemingly not aliens. And plus the fact that the other artifacts on here, so imagine that you're using laser technology to either identify targets or to show people where things, like to designate a place for like GPS or something like that. There's a bunch of different reasons why you would use a laser. Imagine that you're doing it all day, every day. Lasers can affect the lenses of cameras and photography equipment, things like that, light sensors. Lasers can affect all of that. And if you ever used, like, shine a laser at a TV or a camera or something like that in a lens for a very long time, and you're going to see artifacts. In any preceding session, you're going to see artifacts. And so with something like possibly a laser that's coming out of potentially this aircraft, if I'm to see a bunch of other nodes on here that look like similar lights to this, I'm assuming that it could just be laser burns. And if they get brighter because they're eating away at the material that protects the lens itself, if I was to shine another laser in a similar position, it would light up the previous node because there's nothing there dimming it or preventing it from lighting up as well. So these are all just connected luminosity from one point of light. So you see how that light, again, I'm pointing with my hand, this light here gets brighter as the other light gets near it, and then it fades away. See, this light got brighter when this light went near it, and then it faded away. That light got brighter. These lights are getting brighter. This light got brighter. You see what I'm saying? So like little specks are lighting up when this, whatever it is, comes near them. So this is being projected out of something that is interacting with the other potential laser burns from other parts of this lens. And I'm just a fucking guy on the ground. This doesn't look like an aircraft. I'm sorry. It doesn't look anything close to an aircraft. And it definitely ain't angels. Definitely ain't angels. I must enunciate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to be seeing here. It's not diminishing as it goes. Like, it's not shrinking. It's just hovering. So it's not flying away. I feel like we're looking at the ground at a pretty at a pretty easy to conceive angle. Like, I can wrap my head around where in space we are. And this thing is just a bright light. Like, what am I supposed to be seeing there? They don't give any context for it. They're not like telling us what it is. It's just a laser, man. I think it's just a designator, like laser designation on the ground. That's enough. I can't debunk that because it's nothing. Because it's a series of dots in a complete void. Just a big old pile of nothing. I mean, I would love to know, if there's some context to this, like if it's supposed to mean something, but so far it's just a little blob in the center of a screen. Okay, now this looks like something. I'm trying to find if this is the sky or is this the ground? What am I looking at? And I think this is all still at 0.5. Okay, so I guess the thing about this one is that it looks like it's kind of rippling or undulating in some way. But again, compression can do that. Compression artifacts can make things seem like they pop out of nowhere. I don't know. I wouldn't look at the surface of something and assume that it's undulating and moving unnaturally if this type of video is notoriously unreliable. It looks like a cube jellyfish. I mean, does that not seem like a balloon? Like, has nobody ever owned a cellophane balloon before? Or one of those tinfoil balloons? Mylar. Like, that's a Mylar balloon. Like, that's just LiDAR. Or not LiDAR. Mylar. Fuck! Keyframes are not being sent often enough. Fuck you, YouTube. At first it was like, YouTube's not receiving enough data for your stream to be stable. And then it was like, now you don't have enough keyframes. Shut the fuck up. That's just a Mylar balloon. Like, it's very easily just the It's a Boy balloon. Is this supposed to be aliens? It's floating upward just like a balloon would. And it's not moving very fast. It's going maybe, I don't know, a foot a second. That was nothing. That was a fucking balloon. What? I think that's what we're looking at. It's easily a reflection. Okay. No, that's not a reflection. Okay. Now you've got my attention. It looks like someone in a squirrel suit. It looks like someone who's like freebasing? Base jumping. Honestly, it just looks like somebody's freebasing. They're potentially just a meth head, probably from LA or the surrounding areas. And they've hit the pipe, as it were. And this is just them floating around, doing meth head things. That's the one that I keep seeing on Reddit. It didn't go anywhere, did it? It kind of like floated around, but hang on, sorry, I'm still looking at this one. Where is it? Where did it go? Right here. It's right here. Okay, and then it's gone. But we don't know what direction this is supposed to be in, right? We don't know how the camera's oriented. I don't know if it's oriented, if I'm supposed to be looking at it this way or this way. But that honestly just looks like a paraglider, or not paraglider. That looks like one of those squirrel suits that people wear. It just looks like a squirrel suit, to be quite honest. You can even make out like arms and legs. But like, how can we tell anything about this? So it's either some kind of bird, a person with one of those squirrel suits, or some kind of glider or drone. Like it's just, it has what appears to be either limbs or wings on its side, and it's not going very fast because the plane, whatever is taking this footage, outpaced it at one point. So it's not going fast and it's not changing direction. And it could even be that the distinction that I'm seeing here could just be, you know, wobbly artifacts, or like you know, just not filled in pixels. Yeah, I don't really think that was really anything, let alone aliens. United Arab Emirates. Yeah, I just think that it's so in the category of UAP. Often, sometimes when something is unidentified, it really just means that they haven't pieced it together yet, whatever it is. It could be something completely innocuous. It could be a bird. It could be a lighter. It could be a globe. It could be a balloon. It could be a shoe. We don't know, and that's what makes these things unidentified. So it's not always aliens. It's not always some highly advanced technology or even a cryptid or anything like that. It's often not something religious. And yeah, unidentified can really mean literally anything. Like just actually anything. Like what happened when I had a laser here somewhere. Okay, well, I guess I won't be firing the laser. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I mean, you get some pretty cool effects when you start playing around with lasers in cameras. It can destroy your camera, so don't do that a lot. But you can kind of see like what I'm getting at here. Coronas are crazy. Like just the thing that you see when you shine a light into a mirror, like the thing that you see when you shine a light into a camera. It's that kind of stuff. And when we see stuff in FLIR or LiDAR or like any of the infrared technology that we use in war times, like things look way different, you know? Like it's not just like how things are in real life. And so if we look at a reflection of a light looking back on us through something like that, it's gonna look pretty wild. And because there's so much light there, I've heard people talking about this trail that's forming behind it, and it looks like something that is happening in the image itself. Look, like if we were to go out in a jetpack and to see this thing up close, it looks like this thing is emitting it, like there's some cloud of smoke coming out of it. But this can also happen with compression. With we see it in like some of the ghost debunking videos where they actually show you how compression works, like where it can like have a person like, and then the artifact will make those pixels freeze while it's the color of whatever it is that the person, like, hard to explain. It'll show the person essentially melting, but because they're just holding on to the pixels, they're keeping those frames while the guy walks by. And then people can even do like make it look like they're going in and out of existence because the compression keeps the keyframes exactly what they were when they were not filled with person. Do you see what I'm saying? So like the amount of light that's being shown to us is so intense that it's creating a void in the image that we already have on screen. And as our view of it continues to try and get it centered, it's trailing it. So that absence of light, or that void of light, which looks like a lighter color because you don't see any contrast for the LiDAR or the infrared to pick up, it looks like void, or it looks like smoke, or it looks like some emptiness in the clouds, which I assure you it is not. Right. Okay. If you saw the same thing that I just did, you know why I'm essentially face-palming right now. So okay, I was wrong. You ever been to an air show? So when I used to go to air shows, I'm a big like fan of just airplanes. Like I don't know much about them, but I love airplanes, and I love like aeronautics, and just like, I don't know, I love that, like the coolness of it. Jets are pretty cool. But like, if you've ever been to an air show at an airfield, then typically what they'll do is they'll have performative skydivers. They'll have people that like go and jump out of planes and, you know, interlock arms, and they do like cool like designs and things like that. And if you're in the military, then when you do sort of like demonstrations or tests or things like this, I think maybe even in practical application, I wouldn't know because I'm not a service member, but I would assume that in practical application, when you're doing an insertion like this, you would probably have some kind of a flare or infrared flare, even like something that would like set off, like, I don't know, some red light or something in order to potentially, like, not be detected by enemies, but to be visible to people who know what they're looking for. And if I was going to do something like that, then I would probably use that receiving technology, so the FLIR or the LiDAR or whatever, that was able to pick up something like that while myself inserting. Don't clip that, but you get what I'm saying. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, that if we're looking straight up and down, subscribe later, man, have a good one, Brian. If we're looking straight up or down, and we direct our eyes to the top left of this, let me turn my face cam off for a second. If we direct our eyes towards the top left of this image, right about here, what do you see? That drifts into frame. I just moved it over on the vertical view so you can actually look at it. What does that look like? A tesseract? No. Even the symbol here is not a tesseract. That's like a chaos sigil. That's this thing. That's the... Hang on. That's this thing. That's that thing. Where am I in relation to things? I can't... There we go. That's this thing. What I think is that it's cast off from a flare. And if it's phosphorus or something similar, something equally as luminous, it would show up as black on a FLIR camera or an infrared camera, especially with shining, like, let's say it's an omnidirectional light, like let's say a pinpoint light, like let's say like one of the ones that you would use to, or let's say one of the ones that would be the result of a flare burning hot. Call me crazy, but it feels like this was a skydive. So the way that I see this, if I'm looking so that the triangle's pointed down, I am looking either up or down on something or someone who is on a parachute. Well, no, what we're looking at is just things that are abiding by wind differentials. Look, like as the parachute comes into view, you see it's like whipping around, which means that there's probably some heavy winds. Look at that. That thing is out of control. So it's, as you can see, its axis for turning is like here. See? So this thing, and we could be falling with this. This could be something that is, because there is no landmark, there's no like ground or anything, so we have no frame of reference for what the orientation is supposed to be. But this is clearly something on a parachute, and I mean that's very clearly a parachute. Like, look at that thing. You can see it's connected here, connected there, connected there, connected there, and it's so you can see it's like at a fixed point, right? So this either and see again. What we don't see, what we see as like darkness in infrared or FLIR, as I'm sure you know, shows up as white or invisible. And yet when we see like points of light that are luminous to a certain degree, they show up as black, right? So a burning flare floating down, attached to a parachute somehow, right, would show light through the parachute. So if the camera's seeing light through the parachute, it's going to show up as a black contrast. That's why we can see the parachute. When it goes invisible is when it's away from the sun, so that the chute itself is not projecting light through. It's not being embossed in whatever. It's not being illuminated. So there's no black there, so we don't see the parachute. But as it whips back around outside of or like away from the sun, so that the light source isn't facing us, we see nothing. We see a parachute. There's the parachute. It's still there. You can see it traveling right there. It's transiting, and now we're down. Either it hit the ground. This is so apparent to me. I'm shaking right now that you don't see what I'm seeing. Now it's on the ground. Swimming Pumpkin, what's up? Do you think it's a balloon? This tells me it's either just stopped or the parachute has stabilized itself. Because now it's floating up above us, right? And if we're looking up, if I'm looking up at it, then it would have just fallen behind me. See, like I'm looking up, and now it's just fallen behind me. So now I can't track it anymore because it's on the ground.
On a rolling basis every few weeks.
Do sky jumpers use flares? Can they be bright enough to cause a corona or a coronal aberration on a camera? Some kind of infrared camera, FLIR camera. Can you use one of those on the ground? Yeah, I think it's a flare. I agree after seeing more. That's why it looks like a pointy star. Well, there's those corona fields. I think it's pretty easy to see that in certain circumstances, bright lights to a camera can look like just pointy, weird objects that are very not a coronal mass ejection. It's called a coronal lens flare, I think. they can look like stars. They can look like pointy, glossy star things. And see, like even like here, it's just a thing, you know? It's just a thing that happens in cameras. It's an in-camera thing. And yeah, I was honestly thinking that it was just a flare, like maybe some like locational positioning with like some kind of like a geotag or something on it that they're using for reconnaissance or they're testing or something like that. Or it's like equipment that's, you know, attached to a parachute, like that they need for like an insertion or something. Like there's many different reasons I can think of that someone would drop in with a flare. And I know that there are some that are like, you know, black light flares and things like that that don't necessarily show up very well to the naked eye, that are usually people like, oh, well, I don't know what that could be. But like, if this was on infrared or ultraviolet, it would turn black. There you go. There's your evidence.
UFO sightings have been tracked for decades. The military said in a 2024 report there's no evidence of any existence of extraterrestrial life. For CBS News.
Well, see, the things that we saw, none of the things that we saw were in any way indicators of aliens. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of seeming like the UAP footage that we've been getting most recently is a little bunk. Again, that looks like a balloon. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you guys think. This could be anything. I mean, if you're up at like whatever it is, suborbital, if you're up so high that your frame of reference is like over a mile to the ground, then like anything that's closer to them than to you is gonna look like it's like acting crazy or behaving weird or traveling too fast or whatever. It was like a plastic bag or some shit. We saw that one. Oh, and then this one, I don't know if you saw this one. This one just looks like a person in like one of those flying squirrel suits, just like a base jumper. Like, it doesn't look like a piece of futuristic technology. It actually slows down more than the vehicle that's tracking it at some point. So yeah. No, okay, that's not telling me. Whatever. That's like, it's just if it moves too slow and too robotic, but yet it's keeping up with the plane, like that's not unexplainable. That's lasers. That's either laser, light, or like, I don't know. It's really usually just lasers or lights. That's a fucking balloon, dude. That's a fucking balloon. Do you see how it's not pulling any kind of maneuvers? How it doesn't appear to be propelled in any way? And how there's a fucking string hanging down from it? Dear God, I cannot believe that people are that gullible. Whose fucking house were they looking at? I think the bigger conspiracy here is, what were they doing when they saw this thing? This is a house in Syria that they are very interested in. In 2024? Yep, light glare, halo effect. You don't think that might be a sign that maybe there might be some kind of anomalies on your thing? On your camera? Perhaps? Especially if there's other anomalies that are present. Remember that things moving slowly can look like they're moving fast when filmed from a fast-moving aircraft. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was trying to describe earlier when, like, I was like, if you're looking at something long enough, far enough away, then your point of like the perspective is going to make everything else seem like it's moving very slowly, but you're actually going real fast. Oh, what? What was any of that? Is it just the glare? That's not unexplained. That the sun creates light and life on Earth. It's been around for billions of years. What am I looking at? What is that supposed to present to me? It's supposed to be some kind of flying saucer? Jesus Christ. All right, well, whatever. So we've learned, begrudgingly, you know, what appears to be the consensus of evidence, the gathering of evidence that has been dropped in this latest push for UFO disclosure. And it looks like a whole big fucking steaming bag of nothing. At least I'm not finding anything substantial in it.
The Pentagon on Friday began releasing hundreds of files on UFOs after President Trump ordered the documents to be made public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site include eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings, detailing incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm Eleanor Watson.
Oh, we already listened to you. Yeah, so the thing that I find insane is that, yes, there have been lots of claims of UFOs in the past, especially when it comes to talking about aliens. However, there's been very little actual evidence. It's mostly just been stories from people, personal accounts, personal experiences, And yes, well, I think in terms of talking about how it's important to share what you're feeling, and it's important to be transparent on that kind of stuff. I think when it comes to this, we're assuming that everything is aliens, UFOs.
CBS News' Pentagon reporter. The first batch of files included 28 videos. After reviewing all of them,
where are the Epstein files? Are they going to drop the unredacted Epstein files? That would be cool if we could start holding people accountable for that.
These are the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah, we already heard you, lady. All right, so now that... Shush! Now that we've... I think those are loud noises happening not in my house.
You're not alone.
So now that we've heard what the news has to say, let's hear what the people on the ground are saying. Okay, let's hear what the opinion on on Capitol Hill. I just don't feel like there has been substantial enough evidence that there's aliens for anyone to go public with anything, because these are all nothing burgers. The things that we saw, I'm just some fucking guy, and I was able to explain those things.
I knew it before. I didn't need this, but I'd seen enough. I've seen enough, and I would hope that you all would get that opportunity to see what we've
sure
seen.
You guys have heard enough too. I mean, you heard the testimony of some of the technology.
No, goddamn. Why does Spacebar take us forward? Tim Burchett is one of the few Republicans I can stand. Well, I was about to talk about how big a piece of shit he is, mostly because of his LGBTQ stances, and he's often one of those people who demonizes people, like saying that they go into bathrooms with children and that they're just men in dresses and all that kind of stuff, which is, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big supporter of the LGBTQ community, and so I don't like stuff that he says about stuff, How would he get the information after he stepped out of office? No, we're agreeing right now. You're just not hearing me. We're agreeing. I apologize, Reyes, if I was unclear, but he wouldn't have disclosed it because there is no evidence of aliens. I'm an Obama on a podcast is nothing burger in it up itself. That's not the point. Can you redo that sentence, please?
Realize that we are not alone.
I knew it before. I didn't need this, but I'd seen enough. I've seen enough, and I would hope that you all would get that opportunity to see what
I'm
we've
sure
seen.
You guys have heard enough too. I mean, you heard the testimony of some of the technology. Representative Ogles asked some great questions, but when you have
all this while we're still trying to stall on holding people accountable for the Epstein files, and is it not surprising the people who are, pushing for this over transparency from, and accountability for the Epstein files, for the massive network of elites that was responsible for, ruining the lives of fucking hundreds of children? I would assume that would be just as important as finding out whether aliens are real.
senior military pilots and officials saying that there's technology that they don't believe.
I honestly just feel like they're uncomfortable talking about Epstein, and they would much rather just talk about UAP. Like, I think that it's a shame thing. Like, it's an uncomfortability thing. Like, they find it uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about it, which is a human. Like, that's absolutely like a person would do. Badger, what's up? I mean, I agree. I think that is a very uncomfortable and awkward topic. But I also believe that the victims deserve justice. So I would put aside my personal opinion about talking about the subject, and then I would just, go further and then go and hold people accountable. It's not transphobia by doubting their claims. Yes, it is. That they're a woman, if that's what you're getting on him. No, transphobia is when you try to either argue that trans people aren't real, or just the product of a mental illness, because we have determined many times at this point that that's not the case. Or if you're just accusing people of becoming trans simply so that they can be predators. He's been on record as saying those sorts of things many, many times, which is absolutely the definition of transphobia. You know, phobias are not always just outward fears of things. Phobias, or fear itself, can manifest in many different ways. It can manifest in you being uncomfortable around somebody. It can manifest in you wanting your kids not to be near those people. It can manifest in you not wanting them in your schools or teaching your kids. Any number of different ways. Actually manifesting within our country this very moment. people trying to take away rights from the LGBTQ community because they, quote unquote, don't agree with their lifestyle, or because they, quote unquote, don't think that it's natural, or that it's just not godly. That's all transphobia. All of that is transphobia. So you can't say that, whether you agree or not is not the issue here. The issue here is that people's rights are being taken away by rule of law, and that's not cool. And this guy is one of the proponents of that. So any of the good work he may do in the UFO disclosure department is kind of offset by the fact that he's one of the people, A, that's supporting not releasing the Epstein files, but also B, implicit in this whole trans erasure movement that's going on right now in Congress, which I don't support. So there you go.
Is from us, from humans.
3 United States congressmen were denied by our military.
Which is not unheard of. If you guys are new to this stream, you may notice that the face cams are off for a moment. That is because I'm about to smoketh a bowl of the Cannabis. If you happen to also be a Cannabis smoker and you would like to join, then please feel free. You are by no means required to, but I'm going to let the video play, and I will be back the moment I'm done.
We're supposed to be telling them what to do, not the other way around. And so
Well, no. Judicial, congressional, and executive all kind of still have to listen to the military when it comes to offering insights on things as to why you've compartmentalized certain government secrets. So you should be listening to the military when it comes to matters of national security.
we're going to continue on.
I mean, obviously, unless they're like blatantly lying about something, but I don't think they're lying about not having proof of alien life.
That path. Well, reverse engineering, of course.
All right, we're counting it down. 3, 2, 1. Smoke them if you got them. Cheers.
It's just so much ahead of us. But the question you have to ask, and it was alluded to in there, was that it's been handed off to people within the business community so that there is no FOIA, that you all in the press have no access. So, you know, where does the line end and where does it begin between the government and big business? And I think it'd be wise for you all to start looking at some financial disclosures of some of those corporations, some of the people who do the stonewalling in this town. When a commercial airline pilot
helmet life
a
does
sighting or
happen.
something unusual, an anomaly in the air, that when he reports that to FAA, they report it to Congress. And I was told by leadership that it was blocked by the intelligence community, not the intelligence committee, but the intelligence community. And that is a very chilling effect. If someone can reach through the veil of government and pierce it to the point of we do not have access to something, you got to start asking yourself who the hell's in control.
But you guys also should too be asking these questions of the intelligence community, because
What about I feel like I'm speaking like a Republican here, but what about the Epstein files? Are we going to fight that hard for this kind of transparency and disclosure for the Epstein victims? Is that something that we're going to do, or no? We're going to drop that for UFOs? Okay.
can only do so much as members. That's where you guys really pick up the slack, right? So keep the pressure on.
The CIA folks got a little nervous.
Well, no. Actually, committee members are supposed to be the ones that determine the precedent for these things. So let's say that you're in a committee about government spending. Boring, I know. But, you determine where the money goes. And I'm sure that someone who is either the recipient or not the recipient could either argue for or against whether they deserve the money or not, but you eventually are going to be the one that appropriates and then reappropriates that money to be assigned to whoever that is. It's not up to the news. It's what you guys have spent so long talking shit about mainstream news. Why do you think they're gonna just start paying attention to you now? Like they're obliged to because that's their job. But like, what the fuck? Have you ever seen an aliens or an UFO? I'll forgive the weird grammar there. I have never seen an alien or any UFO before. Well, I guess you could say that I've seen plenty of UFOs because there's been plenty of things that I've seen in the sky that I can't identify, but that simply happens to be that I don't know what a lot of things in the air are. Why are you covering it if you agree with us that it's BS to begin with? Are you aware that people can have fun, or is that not a thing that you consider? Do you think that people experience joy and exercise their creativity muscle? Do you think that maybe the commentary might be the reason? The commentary might be the goal? Perhaps it's the actual speaking and talking? So you think that we're the first and only advanced life forms in the universe. Did I say that? Weird. Only like 5 people. Only like 5 people what? On the live, if that's your argument. What's my argument? For what? You're making up an argument that I don't think I'm making.
When we were talking, and when we were told that apparently that they do destroy the evidence because they don't want to come back and be pulled off the flight line. Now they say they're debriefed, but it's.
I mean, you could just like the sound of your own voice. That's also the case. Well, that's partially it. Yeah, I think I'm a pretty good speaker most of the time. And so I do sometimes get entertained by the content that I cover. This is also a form of therapy. I usually would spend this time either writing one of the many scripts that I'm working on, or creating other content for other channels, or editing videos or something like that. It really just depends on what I'm feeling like. But this is a hobby. It's a form of therapy. It's like journaling. I basically just kind of talk into a camera for a few hours, and I get to just say whatever I want. And gosh darn it, if that ain't therapeutic. It allows me a little break in the monotony of the day. And most of my other life most of my life other than this is pretty hectic and busy. So I enjoy being able to just sit down and not do really much for a few hours at a time. You know, I think most people would watch TV or be out in the garden or spending time with their kids, but I don't have kids, you know? So that's what I get out of it. What do you get out of being in a random person's live stream trying to make them feel bad about it? What do you get out of that? If anything, if you're suggesting that I'm sad, if anything, you're the sadder one. You didn't suggest that you were commenting on the news, which we know is BS, because you enjoy it, or did you validate my previous statement? No, I just told you that I like the sound of my own voice. I didn't sound like therapy. That sounds more like enabling. Enabling what? What's the addiction that I'm enabling? Addiction to hearing my own voice? You must not know me very well. Hey, I'm sitting on the toilet too. You don't know where I'm live streaming from. This could be anywhere. All right. I took a 2-minute video of the ISS not knowing what it was. See, and a lot of people would think that's a UFO. On the news, which we know is BS because you enjoy it. You assume my parents' basement? Oh, that's sad of you. Sounds like projection, man. Sounds like you gotta work on your mental health a little bit.
8 hours. They're interrogated.
You seem to be insecure about quite a lot.
And these guys don't make a lot of money. They fly in a $50 million piece of machinery, yet they're treated like dogs. And then on the backside.
Ah, no! No! Can I navigate? Oh, thank God. So let's get into the aliens. Do you believe in aliens, interdimensional or traditional? I think if they're real, I mean, if they're real in the way that we think they are, like they're actually beings that we can talk to that are coming here in ships, then I would assume that they're from outer space. I mean, I gotta assume that anything that has the technology to make it to us in like any kind of like interactional capacity, like they can make it to us, they have the technology to acclimate themselves to our atmosphere, and they have the technology to speak to us, and they have the technology to know what our biology is from a remote location. If they have all of that, then their technology is probably so far ahead of us that we can't even perceive the idea of what it might look like or what it might be. It could look like a rock. I don't know. Is that the most efficient form for something like what they need to be in? I don't know. So I can only imagine, but like, I don't know that they would be. I don't want to like put a whole like a category of something like a hollow earth, or like if they're from the ocean or something. I don't want to put a whole category of extra shit onto something that already feels to me too complicated to even like be able to rationalize. I just hope that there's proof someday that we can actually just kind of like see aliens, and they just kind of like come up and be like, hey, what's up? You know, like, nice to see you. I don't know. A sentient ball of plasma. I mean, who knows? It could be like a fucking, like a lizard person. They could be the Silurians or whatever, you know? Like, I don't know. The Woogans. The hell is a Woogan? Look out for the Woogans. In Hitchhiker's Guide, you didn't know about the aliens until they needed to build a highway. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what is that, the Dark Forest? Or the Third Body Problem, or one of those fucking astronaut cosmological, whatever the fuck those terms are.
Hell's in control.
But you guys also should too be asking these questions.
Atheism is the fallacy. Religion is man-made, and Sky Daddy didn't exist, therefore the universe was not created. What the fuck are you talking about? Michelangelo?
Of the intelligence community, because we can only do so much as members. That's where you guys really pick up the slack.
What does that have to do with
so
aliens?
keep the pressure on.
the CIA folks got
Pass
a
some
little
aliens'
nervous
cheeks.
when
Well,
when we were
I would, but I'm married. I would assume. Oh, maple edibles. Apologies for the maple edibles kicking in. Apologies for the maple. Are you talking about a maypole? Like the thing that people dance around in the summertime? You tie a ribbon around it, you know? Is that what you're talking about? Maypoles? I'm sure most people don't even know what those are. Unless you're from one of those countries. Maple leaf? Real raw one. I think I'm confused. I think I'm confused. Life showed up pretty early on Earth. There's no reason for it to be, or for even the same condition to be replicated billions of times. Okay?
talking, and
Go off, King.
we're told that apparently that they do destroy
Canada. Oh, Canada.
the evidence because they don't want to come back and be
Our home and native land. Don't you guys have to like stand up and take a shot of maple syrup every time someone sings the Canadian national anthem? Isn't that? I heard that was like a tradition.
pulled off the flight line. Now they say they're
And then you got to do slap shots for Jesus.
you know, they're debriefed, but it's 8 hours. They're interrogated. They're pulled off the flight line. These guys don't make a lot of money. They fly in a $50 million piece of machinery, yet they're treated like dogs. And then on the backside,
Where is this happening? I mean, wouldn't we be hearing about military leaders who are being taken into custody because they're asking the wrong questions? What the fuck? So the skepticism isn't about the aliens being out there. No, my skepticism is about the government's idea of what's relevant right now. I don't think that the UAP that they're presenting to us is a suitable substitute for releasing the unredacted Epstein files and holding those responsible accountable. And so my argument here, if there is any argument to be made in a live stream in which I'm not diatribing, it's that I really think that the US government needs to be concentrating on different priorities, and I would still love to see if aliens are real. I can want two things at once, okay? I may be a filthy atheist liberal, but I would love to see some aliens, and I would love to see our government function. Those would be, you know, I'd throw up double hang looses for that. I would absolutely throw up double hang looses. And anyone that's from New Zealand or Australia would probably know that this is the sign of pluck a duck. And he may not be a goose, but, you know, he's pretty close. Geese are pretty close to ducks. Do they still have corkscrew dongs? Not sure. But maybe one day I'll find out. You know, I guess that's something I could just Google, but I don't want that on my search history. Nor, I guess, do I want to find out in real life. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now. If you know, you know.
they get a blemish on their record. So, you know, it's this military intelligence. Like I said, military intelligence is like congressional ethics. It doesn't exist.
Oh, fuck you. So the whole thing that his whole thing here in this clip is talking about how the government isn't allowing the secrets to come out. And he says that it's the intelligence community because he, for some reason, is making a distinction between the intelligence committee and the intelligence community, which I think we're just talking about agency versus a lawmaking branch, but whatever. His whole thing is that he's saying that they're stonewalling any inquiries and even arresting people, which... Wouldn't this be national news? Like, wouldn't that be like, they're not just spiriting these people away. They're like taking them aggressively, he said, on flights. Like they're finding them on flights and then they're like taking them aggressively off the flight and putting them in custody because they're asking about UFOs. I just don't think that's happening. And it, you know, it could be. And like I said, if all of this goes further to proving that aliens exist, then cool, you know? I would love to flibble thwarp with Zeebzorp. I would love to. Like, I look forward to the day where I can fleep with somebody named Quagagalu, and I would love to do that. Call me a proponent of finding the truth, okay? Call me Mulder, because I want to believe, all right? Even though I'm a skeptic, I want aliens to be... I want a Zeebzorp with a Theepflorp. I just want, you know, that'd be cool. I'd be like a space trucker or something, you know? You know, if you get the chance to explore the universe and you can deliver like cool shit to cool lives on cool places, why not take that opportunity? You know? I just don't think that's how it is. I don't think that's what's happening here. I mean, I'm a skeptic to men becoming women. I don't see any evidence of that actually happening, though. Well, I mean, trans men and trans women both exist, so the truth is out there. It is indeed out there. But whether it's going to come to us in my lifetime is the question. seem a bit young for the X-Files. Have you ever talked to an alien's abductee? I would fucking love... That would be like a dream come true. To have like a show where I interview people who have like had actual paranormal encounters. Oh, God, that would be a dream job. Oh my lord, I just got shivers in my spine because I would love to do that so much. What exists? What truth are you talking about? I'm just saying that trans people exist. Like, they exist. Like, you can't argue that people exist. Like, they just exist. Trans people exist. If you want to argue that it's not a real thing, like it's not a real concept, then you'd be arguing with a big mountain of data. And I trust the opinion of biological doctors a bit more than some stranger on the internet. Which is, you know, that's you know, people just gotta critically think, man. Like, it doesn't affect you for someone to change their sex. It never has. And as far as I'm aware, sex change surgery has been a thing that people knew about since I was born. And I doubt any of you are younger than me, or I doubt any of you are much older than me, you know? I don't know. And trans person is what that exists. I don't know what that means. I don't know about doctors. I prefer my doctors in the woods. You mean like with healing poultices and like burning incenses? I don't mind a witchcraft doctor. I do not. What dogs I got? Cute ass ones. Bam, bam, bam. Maybe someday you guys will get to see them. I want to do a dog cam just because I would enjoy doing that.